Hey, you guys, thank you so much for jumping on this call. Just based on our text thread and message thread, how excited I've been to see Rachel with our team. Just a little bit about her. We met on Instagram, like all good relationships start, about 3 years ago, maybe around this time. And I just noticed that she really loved the Lord, and I could tell that she was able to weave it into her business in a way that I was really not good at. Like, I did not know how to make Jesus a part of this in terms of just like how he was involved in it, and that Jesus could even be part of someone's business, and how does that work, and all of that. So she was a really big light for me in that way. And then when I was at Summit, I was walking around the core, which is where you can shop for merchandise and stuff. And I was like, that's Rachel. And I went and I ran and gave her the biggest hug. And that's how we met in real life. And then now we've gone to the beach together. We meet up at Summit. We meet up whenever we can. And I really do love her like a sister. She is a two-time elite coach, which we've been talking a lot about. So you guys know how big of a deal that is. And she was premier before that. She is a lifetime 5-star in her first business center, but she is a 1-star in her second business center. And she is also a Success Club 10 legend, which means she has hit Success Club 24 months or longer in her business. So she knows what she's doing. Definitely listen and take heart on what she says today. And just anytime she says anything, it's always gold. And I'm just excited to hear her today. Take it, Rachel.
All right, sister. So let me just say, my business is a hot mess most days, just like anybody else's. I am not 5-star right now, just being completely honest. Because what I want you to see is that I have been a coach for almost 5.5 years. And there have been so many ups and downs, but just like that, we all see that entrepreneur, like, this is what success looks like. It's not a straight shot. It's like this. And that is so true. And I feel like right now I'm in this little valley in my business. And so, like, I say that not to discourage you, but to encourage you, because it is a beautiful, beautiful business. Like, it is such an awesome business. And like she said, I realized pretty quickly it was as I grew in my own personal faith through my fitness journey and through coaching, like, I realized, hey, I can put whatever I want to out on my Instagram, Facebook platform. Like, right. So we have the opportunity to share Jesus, to encourage women, to be, I always say, be a light in what can be a very dark health and fitness world. Even within the Beachbody community, it can be dark. And so, like, this is a gift and an opportunity. So yes, I have hit Success Club every single month. I have been a coach every single month, and probably, like, maybe a few of those months have been SC5, but I've almost always been SC10. And I am just going to share with you everything that I know and that works for me. So definitely take notes. There's a lot here. But it's very applicable. And you guys, it will definitely, I know this works. Like, I can say that with all the confidence in the world. I know this works. Okay. So I have this. I don't know who has read Keith Callahan's Built to Last. You guys know that book? He is a coach within the Beachbody community, very successful, but he runs his business a little differently than you probably see most coaches. But I love that book. It's a really good book. I encourage you to read it if you haven't, once you kind of get to that leadership stage and you have some coaches under you. But one of the biggest thing that I took away from his entire book, which is really small, quick read, but he says faith, enthusiasm, and action. And I have these written in different places in my office, and like, I just remind myself of them often. And as I sit down to do my work and train my team, I think, do I believe in what I'm doing? First of all, that's the faith part. Like, do I believe that challenge groups work, that these workout programs work, that Shakeology is liquid gold? Do I believe in the business model, right? Because if I don't, if you're sitting down to do your business and you're kind of halfway thinking, if she does this, is she going to stick with it? Do you believe in it? And I know that you have a lot of people starting and stopping. It's just part of the business. But if you're doing the things and you're seeing success in your fitness and your business, then it works. Okay. So do you believe in what you're doing? Are you getting excited about it? I can't stand anything worse than, like, when I see somebody posting and they look like somebody is just like holding a gun to their head. I mean, like, good grief, like, get excited about what you're doing. And enthusiasm goes so far, you guys. Like, even, like, I always tell my team, like, when we're doing power hours and stuff, like, sit down, put a smile on your face, get up, jump around, do some praise music, because that, how you feel when you sit down to do your work it translates into your conversations. Okay. And then action, 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 action. If you're not taking action every single day in your business, then you are going to stall out. And I am not telling you to become a workaholic. I am not telling you to put this business before your family. I'm just saying take action every single day. All right. And so for me personally, I think that there are two different aspects of your business. One, you have the front door, which is your social media, the outside of it, what you post, what you put out there, your content. And then you have the back door, which is really where you build the bulk of your business. That's your invites. I'll get to that. But you have to understand that the front door of your business is very important. If you are not posting, if you are not learning how to brand yourself, if you are not being yourself and way more than just a Beachbody coach, then you probably don't have a very good business, or it won't last very long. We can go through our warm market and such, but if you're not learning how to grow Instagram, learning how to post, learning how to create a brand, learning how to niche down, then, you know, it's going to kill everything in the beginning. All right. I mean, eventually. So don't let that stress you out if you're a new coach. You'll learn it little by little. And honestly, this part takes a lot of practice. But just some things on the outside of your business that helps the invites. Make sure that you are, you have a bio in your Instagram account that it doesn't say Beachbody Coach or Shakeology or anything like that. No links to like Beachbody. It should be who you are. So I didn't expand mine. I should have for this photo, but you know, it says encouraging women to follow God first and everything else second. I think having a mission statement first is really, really cool and important. Then I'm a boy mama. Fit-ish is what I have on there because I don't have a perfect body. I don't look like some of these other coaches. And then I have things like, you know, Southern girl, like goal getter, because I do want people to know like I have some type of business, but I don't want them to know what it is right away. So your IG bio and your profile, your photos communicate a lot. So just tell people who you are. And then if you have something in your bio, make sure you're posting about it. Because if I was on there and I was like a girl mom and I never had any pictures of me and my kids or girls, you know, like that would be kind of silly, right? So just pay a little attention to that today and just update it if you need to. So inviting. This is my method of how I invite. I say never send a cold invite ever. Now, have I done that? Yeah, I have. You know, with my coach, when I came into the business 5 years ago, she was like really in like the peak, I would say, of her business. And she was pushing for 15-star and all these different business centers. And so she was like, push. And I love my coach. I'm not saying this is not a bad thing about her. She was like just such a go-getter and she wanted to hit this goal that she would like give us this sheet of 100 bubbles and say, go invite 100 people, get 100 no's, right? You've probably seen that somewhere. And so like, she was just like, go invite everybody, and new followers, like anybody likes your post, just go invite them, you know? And she gave us a sample invite to send. And I did that and I hated it. And, you know, I didn't get a lot of response. So like, I don't teach my team to ever send cold invites. And I'm pretty sure Lauren doesn't either. So this is kind of the stage that I go through whenever I set up an invite. Obviously, the first one, you have to connect with them somehow. You know, if you already know them, just eliminate that point. But, you know, I follow people. I like and I comment, and I'll go into this a little bit more, and then I just start the relationship. You know, social media, I think that gets a bad rap, but it's such a cool place. Like Lauren and I met through there, right? You know, it's such a cool place to actually build relationships, connect with people, you know, get into people's lives that may need what we have to offer. So following, liking, comment, starting the relationship, that's a whole other like call as far as like growing your Instagram, but just start the relationship by connecting with them on social media. And then eventually I go into their DMs and really start to build the relationship. This is not, when I go into their DMs, typically it is not about coaching or Beachbody or challenge groups. All right. Unless they have like engaged on one of my posts or my stories. And then stage 3 is I invite, I follow up, and I close the sale. All right, so I'm going to go through these stages with you guys. Start the relationship. There is a really good national wake-up call on this 311 method. I can't remember the girl's name, but I'm sure we can find it if you need it. But basically, that's when someone follows me. I use Teamzy to track my content. If I follow them and they follow me back, they go into my Teamsy as a new follow, and then I set a reminder to like a week later or maybe like 3 or 4 days later to do this. Now I'm not like following people and jumping into their inbox. Like that is not how I operate. I trust my content. I trust what I put out there. I trust that they'll look at it. You know, if they see me and they follow me, they've looked at it. So that's kind of like getting them into my front door of my business, right? And so like I'm going to do the 311. I'm going to go like through their posts. I'm going to comment on one. And if I have like the content there, like I'll go into their inbox and say something. This is really important. Be genuine. If like somebody follows me that I have nothing in common with, like they are, you know, maybe like goth and like just wear black all the time, black lipstick, all that stuff. I mean, not that that person's not a person, they're important, but I'm not going to try to connect with that person because I don't have anything in common with them. And honestly, I'm probably going to unfollow them and remove them from following me because that's important for your algorithm too. You can have 50,000 followers, but if like 5 are engaging with your posts, then that kills your Instagram algorithm. Okay. So I know that you guys want lots of followers. I do too. And people I've paid for followers, and honestly, it's probably worked against me. Just take care of who you have and go find genuine people that you can connect with. All right. So if I don't find anything to comment about or go to their inbox about, I don't do it. That's really important. And it does take some time to find these people. But also, this is really something I've been doing a lot more of lately, and it works so well, is go to their stories. You know, as I'm scrolling through my Instagram feed and I'm looking for people to connect with today, I'm going to look for people who have the little ring by their Facebook, their Instagram profile picture, because that means they have stories. And if they have stories, that's a whole lot more personal. And, you know, like it's so easy to connect with that people. So I will go and I will look at their stories and I will just respond from there. So one, you're connecting with their content, right? And then 2, you're going directly to their inbox right away. And again, I don't overthink it. If it's kids, if it's dogs, if it's whatever, I just drop a message. I don't use the emoji because they won't respond to that. But I'll say something like, oh my gosh, that is the cutest thing ever. Or, you know, that recipe looks amazing. Would you mind to share it with me? Or, you know, like, you know, your kid is so funny. This is what my Milo said recently. It sounds like they're a lot alike, you know, like it's very genuine and personal. All right. And so it's a really easy way to get connected with people right away. Because if they're putting content out there, they're doing it to be social. It's social media. So don't be afraid to connect with people every single day, every single day. Like I even put it in my Rise Up planner because I've got to do that or I will forget. I'll get caught up with everything else, but this is like money in your business. All right. And then as you build the relationship, this is important. Like, so I do the 311, follow, like, comment, go into their DMs. And this is where I really start to build the relationship. And, you know, a lot of coaches are like, well, Rachel, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what to say about like to a complete stranger. Just be yourself. Like, just be yourself. And it never, ever hurts to say thank you. Like, thank you is always a good way to start. All right. So this is a message that I send a lot to people who are watching my stories, because honestly, it's easier if they're watching my stories a lot. Like, I know they're into me, right? They're watching for a reason. And so this is something I send a lot. It just says, hey, so-and-so, always use their name. Please use their name so they know that you actually know who they are, and go to their page before you send this message just to see, make sure they're not a coach. Make sure their grandmother didn't just die. You know, like just go to their page, and it also helps to be able to say something about who they are. But hey, Sally, thank you so much for following My Hot Mess Life. It's always a crazy show over here because it is, but I love encouraging women, other women in faith and fitness. I don't think we've met yet, so I wanted to pop in and say hello. And I usually end with a question like, you know, what are you doing on this Saturday? Or, you know, like, it might be something personal about their page, or, you know, sometimes I say, do you follow me for faith or fitness or whatever, you know, like I just end with a question because that's really important to get them to respond. And so this is how I connect and really just start a relationship. Some people don't answer. Some people never say anything. I've sent this message, I sent it multiple times, honestly, not the same message, obviously, to the same person. But if somebody continues to watch my story, they're going to continue to get a thank you from me, honestly. And so just say thank you. Some other ways to build the relationship are to ask for advice. If I'm watching a girl's story and she has like the most perfect, like whatever, setup or office or something like that, say, hey, oh my gosh, I love that desk, like where can I find one? Ask about anything. Just remember that you're speaking to real people, and it's not like a robot out there. You're speaking to someone as if they were right in front of you. And just be yourself and make it a normal conversation, and it goes a really long way. Another thing that's going to happen that you won't see right away is if you go to people's inboxes, you're watching their stories, you're connecting with them that way, they're going to see more of your stuff. All right. So that's what the algorithm does. They say, oh, these people know each other. Let me put Rachel's posts in Sally's feed more, right? Or they're going to go and check out your stuff. Okay. And if you're genuine and you're not just all Beachbody, they're going to find something that they connect with about you. All right. So this is a process, and it's a compound effect, and you just have to do this every single day. All right. And track. So if I message Sally a week after I follow her, I'm going to go into Teensy and I'm going to track it, and I'm going to set a reminder to connect with her again. And then within a month, if it feels comfortable, if it feels normal, not comfortable, but if it feels good, then I'm going to invite her to my next challenge group, and I'm going to talk about that. Because a lot of times I do the sorry invite, which I love. Okay. I love the sorry invite. This is like, hey, I've been connecting with you, Sally, for like a month. We've been talking about dogs or kids or whatever. Thank you so much for looking at my stories again today. Like, it means a lot to me, and your support is everything. I had to reach out and say, I'm sorry, I haven't done this yet because we've been friends for a minute now, but would you like more info about my next boot camp? I don't even know if you have specific goals, but I love the community and being able to connect with other women over faith and fitness. Would you like to learn more about my whatever boot camp? Okay. So you've been following me, and you see me talking about this big party that we're having over in a challenge group, and me getting results and my girls getting results. I'm so sorry I haven't invited you yet. Right. So like, it really, really, really is an easy way, because I think that the number one thing that coaches have trouble with is transitioning the invite. Transitioning from a conversation to an invite. Now, if you're doing your job and you're posting about your challenge groups and results, and you're sharing results, and you're talking about why you work out, like, people don't care what you're doing, they want to know why you do it. If you're doing that consistently, it's so easy to genuinely say, hey, come along, sister, you want to do this with us, right? And so that's how I start an invite, unless they vote in a poll, or, sometimes I'm more direct. Like if I make a challenge group series or a coaching series and they watch all the stories, and I just message them from the story and say, hey girl, thanks for watching this. You want some more information? So, like, that's really easy to do too. That's why your content is so important. This was from Mandy Kai. She did a team call for our bigger team recently, and she shared her slides with us. But I mean, I can go through these like you guys will. I'll give you this PDF for sure. But message people watching your stories. Definitely. That is probably the easiest way to do it. And like, if they're watching your stories, all you have to do is go down to that little, like, it's a little thing on the bottom that shows like the little faces, and you click on it, and it pulls up all that list of people watching your stories. Hit that arrow beside their name and direct message them from your story, because it means that they see the story that they were watching, and they know they were watching. And it's also an easy way to just directly talk about whatever that story was. All right. I do this every day too. Then there's a message for people who you've talked to. Again, it's a little different than mine. A little bit more direct people. It's like a transition message with people you've chatted to but haven't invited yet. And then any response to a call to action. I don't get tons of response to my call to actions for challenge groups and coaching, quite honestly. I convert people to challengers more so from people who are just watching, and I start the conversation. So don't think that, oh, I put a poll in my stories today, that was an invite, because it's not. Okay. You have to directly invite people. All right. Fortune is in the follow-up. You probably know that by now. But it's really important to follow up. Lots of new coaches come in. They're like, I'm inviting, and nobody's committing. And I'm like, well, did you follow up? And they're like, no, she just didn't respond back. It's like, you've got to follow up. Okay. Follow up is so important. it does create clarity, because if you're not following up, they may have questions that you don't know they have questions about, or they may have financial issues that they're afraid to communicate, or maybe they don't know when the challenge group starts, or maybe they read the email or the details and they really weren't clear on it and they're just not taking action, or maybe they don't want to and they don't have the money, and you need to know that. All right, so you have to follow up. It opens the door for them to ask questions. And so it also like allows you to give more information, and just to talk it out. And remember, I always say, remember, how did you feel when you started, right? Were you afraid to drop $160? Were you unsure about Lauren and who this person was? Were you like kind of afraid of like, oh, I've done diets before, this is just something else, I'm probably going to stink at it and I'm going to fail? Like, think about those things when you're having these conversations. And so this is a sample follow-up message that I would send. Sarah, so I haven't been able to quit thinking about helping you get started. And I always remind them of why they said they wanted to do this with me. All right. Your desire to whatever, be able to be present with your kids or have the energy to chase your kids, that's so powerful. I'm so ready to help you go. So I sent all the info and it looks like you opened it. Do you have any questions, concerns you want to talk out? Or are we ready to get your sign up started? I always talk to people like I just assume they're going to sign up. Like I'm very direct and very bold in that way, confident in that way. And it usually does open the door for questions. All right. So they're going to respond back to that 9 times out of 10. But if they don't, I'll just follow up with her next month. Right. So here's some more follow-up examples. Creating clarity. Like I said, hey, Sarah, I just wanted to check in. I'm so excited to help you get ready for your wedding in June. Again, remind them of why they said they wanted to do it, just so we're on the same page. When do you think you will be joining me? I want to make sure you have all the resources you need to feel good about walking down the aisle. And then, of course, those people that are ghosting you, you've had the conversation, they had to do something now, and then they won't respond. Hey, girl, no hard feelings on my end. I just want to see where you are and if you're still thinking about joining my boot camp. If you have any questions, ask away. I hope you're having a great week and can't wait to hear from you, right? Just direct, hey, where'd you go? Let's talk. And then for that girl that says every single month I'm going to sign up and she never does, just I'm ready to start when you are. What's stopping you? I send this a lot. And then you're going to have those people that just talk, and they don't sign up. I know this leap is scary and I know it's so new, but I'll be right by your side. And you have a team of women that started right where you are to guide you. What are you thinking, girl? And I say that they'll never sign up, but they do eventually, honestly, if they know you care. And I think that a lot of people think, oh, I'm nagging people. No, follow-up is not nagging. That's showing people that you care, that what you have works, and that if you don't do it, they're not going to get started, right? So make sure that you are following up. It is so, so important. Okay. And so this is the invitation process, the connecting, the invites, the follow-ups. It is what I call the back door of your business. These are things that I live and die by in my coaching business. 80% of what you build, your success, is built behind the scenes. If you are not sending messages every single day, I tell my team, if I don't wake up with messages in my inbox, I didn't do my job yesterday. All right. So you can post all day long. You can make stories every single day. You can even put polls in your stories and do calls to actions in your posts. But if you don't wake up with messages in your inbox because you went into other people's inboxes yesterday, then you don't have a business. That is so important. All right. And then the last thing is that people get excited about what you get excited about. I don't care if it's like a box of Cheerios. Like, people, if you get excited about it and you talk about it with enthusiasm, people are going to connect with that. People are drawn to people who are passionate about what they do. And I know that in the beginning, if you are a newer coach, or even if you're a coach who's kind of flailed for a little bit and you're trying to get started, just go get excited about something today. Today, I had a challenger who messaged me, and she did 2B Mindset for a really long time. And she had to switch to portion control because the 2B Mindset, she wasn't eating enough and she didn't know it. And so now she's like, I feel like $1 million. Like, I'm actually eating enough food. And so I'm going to go in my stories. I'm going to talk about Katie, and I'm going to talk about our two nutrition plans and like how they work. And I'm just going to get excited that Katie is a mama who's fighting for her health, and she like actually figured out why she was feeling bad. Right. And so like, it's not rocket science what we do in any way. It's eat clean, it's work out, it's get results. Right. But when we get excited about what we're doing, when we get excited about the women that we get to help, that transitions into other people want to do what you're doing. All right. So those are the rules that I live by. Okay. So let me see. Do you want me to stop? Are there any questions? Do you guys have any questions about that before I move into like inviting to coaching? I can answer questions at the end if you want me to. Is that okay? Okay. All right. So now let's talk about inviting to coaching, because that is important. You are not going to build a 6-figure income just running challenge groups and inviting to challenge groups. Now I did really well for a couple of years, really just focusing on challenge groups. But it was when I started building a team that, your income really takes off. So inviting to coaching is really no different than inviting to challenge groups. Now, let me say that you will get less interest and engagement when you talk about coaching. So just expect that and don't let it stop you. But you have to talk about coaching over and over. Just like you can't post about your challenge group once and expect everybody to come join. It takes people being exposed to something at least 7 to 10 times before they take action. All right. So what does that mean? We have to be consistent. We have to show up. We have to be talking about, like whatever your challenge group is for March, you have to talk about it for a good 2 weeks before you really see some active people joining. Same thing with coaching. Never, ever go 1 week without talking about coaching. For me personally, I try to make at least one. I know Lauren does this a lot more. She's really good at it. I try to make at least one solid, hardcore coaching post a week, but I talk about coaching every day in my stories. All right. So talk about it over and over. What has it done for you? I love that Lauren is giving you guys a calendar where she asks you a question to answer basically in your content. Ask yourself when you sit down to write about coaching, why am I here? What does this do for me? What dreams do I have that coaching is helping me fulfill? Right. And even if you don't have a big booming business, you're here working towards something, right? So talk about it. And just know that it takes time and consistency before people will join you. I'm not a huge recruiter. I don't recruit 20 people a month. I usually recruit maybe 5 working coaches, and out of those, maybe 1 actually sticks with it and does something, right? And that's okay. Honestly, that has built me a very solid business. Okay. I'm not telling you to aim low. I don't mean that, but definitely be consistent and invite people to this opportunity and trust that it just takes time to do it. This is something that I got long ago, and I actually have it printed and it's over here hanging on my whiteboard. But if you don't know what to talk about coaching, it doesn't have to be I earned $1 million this Thursday. It doesn't have to be I earned $100. If you earned $5 and it pays for your kids' enrollment to do something, talk about it. But here are some ideas for just talking about the coaching opportunity. And I don't know, Lauren, you may have this, but I can give you just this PDF too. Of that if you guys want it. But it just it's really easy to talk about. I think we overthink it way too much. But when it comes to inviting to coaching, I think that it's really scary for a lot of people, and you're going to get a lot of people that tell you no because they're scared themselves, but it's really flattering to be invited. I remember when Melanie asked me to be a coach, and I was does she know who I am? But, just the fact that she wanted me to join her team that was encouraging. It was nice. So definitely invite with confidence. Tell them why you're inviting them. It may be a challenger. It may be somebody you follow that just seems like a rock star and you'd love to have them on your team, but tell them why you're inviting them. Hey, Sally again. This may be out of left field to you, but I just can't shake this gut feeling. I'm supposed to ask you this. I followed you for a while now. I love your vibe, your passion for Christ, and how you show up here in your squares. I'm always looking for bold women who want to work and live with purpose. And coaching has enabled me to do those things and provide for my family. I would love, would you be open to learning more about my team and what I do as a coach? If not, you're not going to hurt my feelings, but I'm grateful every single day someone asked me. That's a very genuine invite. It's not hey, do you want to come learn more about coaching? I'm doing a call tomorrow night. It's hey, this is what I see in you that I like. This is what I love about coaching. And this is my heart, essentially. And I always give people a way out. Don't worry. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you say no or don't want to. I just had to ask, right? So it's very direct, but it's also not hey, come join my team, right? So it's just remember that when you are inviting people, it is a gift, and it is something that could change their life. And I wanted to talk about like reasons that I know, I know that you're not inviting to coaching. All right. You are not confident in the opportunity because you're not doing the work yourself. All right. I've been all these places, so I can say this with confidence. All right. You're not working the business to your full potential. Therefore, you don't think other people will either. That is an easy fix. That is an absolute easy fix. All you got to do is start taking action. I don't care if you send one invite. I don't care if you make, if you do one follow-up, you make one post today, just do something to get your confidence back. All right. The second thing is you're afraid that they're going to say yes. If somebody says yes, tell me more. You're not ready. You're not ready, right? So my best tip for that is have resources to send them or host an information session to tell them about coaching. You can do that as a team. You can do that with another coach. It doesn't matter. You can do it by yourself. Don't be afraid to do it by yourself. It's scary and it takes practice, honestly, to run a call or to host a group. But guys, I know there are lots of scripts and guides out there for you to run your own coaching group, right? One of my best tips is make a little video. Like, it doesn't need to be long, 5 to 10 minutes max. Tell your coaching story, talk a little bit about what you do on social media and running challenge groups, and that type of thing. And have something that you can send them. If they can hear your voice and gain confidence in you as their future potential leader, that's going to go pretty far. All right. So have something when they're say yes, you've got to be ready with what to say or what to do. And then the second thing or third thing is, what do I do when they join? Like, what do I do when they become a coach? Like, I have no idea how to lead a coach. That's okay. Everybody starts there. Okay. I had coaches that I didn't know how to lead them. I just kind of stuck them in Melanie's coach training, which was fine for a while, but eventually I had to do it myself. And again, there's so many resources for training your new coaches. Honestly, what Beachbody gives them is enough for anybody to be successful, even without you. All right. If they choose to do the work. But establish an onboarding system to boost your confidence. Like, what email are you going to send them? Are you going to do a one-on-one call? Are you going to throw them into your new coach training with Lauren or with somebody else? Just be ready because they need that confidence too. The last one is you're not inviting because you've been burned by coaches in the past. Coaches will come and go. It's just part of the business. Just like challengers, they're going to come and go. You're going to have people who sign up and don't do anything. You're going to have people who sign up and cancel the next day. You're going to have people that sign up and coach for like 3 months and kill it. And then they just go away. And you're like, what happened? It's just part of the business. Honestly, you guys, I say this a lot. You're looking for one really solid, hardworking coach every quarter, and you can build an incredible business. All right. And so like, don't be shy or don't be afraid because something has happened in the past, or maybe you started and stopped in the past, right? Just show up. God has put this word in my heart this year, like, remain, Rachel, just remain and keep doing the work, and I will bless it in my way. Okay. And this is something I did, I don't know if it was in December or January. I was talking to my coach for a while, and, she said, I was really discouraged about some things, and especially about coaching in my team. And I said, she said, Rachel, but what if somebody hadn't asked you? What if she said, I say this to myself, what if somebody hadn't asked me? And so like, I just sat down and actually have it scribbled in Sharpie on a piece of paper up here on my wall behind my computer. And I just made this list. Like, who was I before? And you can do this for challenge groups. You can do this for coaching. You can do it for both. They really apply to both. But who was I before? Who was I in April of 2014? I was tired. I was broke. I was unfulfilled. I loved my teaching job, but I was not just filling my cup the way that I felt like I should be living life. I was missing moments with my kids because I had to drive an hour each way every day. And so like, if they had things at school or if their daycare, like, I couldn't just hop in the car and run over there. I was an hour away. Like, somebody else was taking my kids to school and picking them up, like, I was missing a lot. I was not using my God-given gifts. Didn't even know what I had. Honestly, the person I am today is not who I was 5 years ago. And so like, I didn't know it at the time, but I know it now. Right. And I can see that. I was really lonely. Mama is hard. Mama and working full time is hard. And you find yourself alone a lot, or just with kids, which is they're fabulous, but they're not adults, let's face it. And so like I was also lacking confidence in my choices, lacking confidence in my relationships, lacking confidence in what I was supposed to be doing with my life. And I was definitely not as close to God as I am today. And he has used this. He's used fitness initially, and then he used this business to make me need him more. Okay. And so like that is really important. Now, who am I? I'm present. I still teach one class a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I'm home the rest of the time. I get to take my kids to school. I get to pick them up. I get to be a mom at their party. Honestly, we are planning, if everything pans out and God keeps leading us that way, we're probably going to homeschool next year. So, I am so much more present, and Beachbody provided that. God used Beachbody to provide that. Definitely healthy, definitely healthier. We're saving money. We're not living paycheck to paycheck. I feel very purposeful in the work that I do. I know that I'm here showing up every single day because this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel called to it. We are traveling. We are dreaming bigger dreams for our family. I get to have all these beautiful friendships and mentor women in their faith and their fitness and their business. I'm much more confident in my marriage and my relationship with Matt. And I am so much closer to God. And so I'm thankful for those things. And so like, if you haven't done this, if you find yourself struggling every day to show up and do the work, make a list, and don't stray from it. All right. God will put the words, your then and your now, on the paper for you, and just look at it every single day. It's like Lauren does that vision. I've started doing this since she did our call, like in the Rise Up Planner, like your clarity statements, look at it every day and pray over it, give thanks for it, and keep working. And then I love this verse personally. It's on a post-it. It's on a note card in my office. I look at it a lot. Just remind yourself, you are unique. You are unique. You are here for a purpose. Sorry, you guys. God created you with very specific gifts that aren't supposed to look like hers or somebody else's. And so show up knowing that, hey, God put me here. God stuck me in this job, stuck me in these squares. God put me in this person's inbox. Sorry, it's my mom. And that, you are here for a specific reason. It's so easy, so hazardous to compare yourself, you guys. And I fall into this trap a lot. It's honestly one of my weaknesses that God uses, my thorn. Like Paul talks about, that keeps me close to God, keeps me coming back to him. You have specific gifts for a reason. So go use them. All right. That is my presentation. That's all I got. Are you laughing at me?
That is my presentation.
It's my presentation. All right. So you guys, do you have any questions for me? Yeah, help. Look at that baby. She's asleep. All right. That's all I got.
All right. Well, I can't deal with all the babies on our screens every day. Like, I try to have calls where I'm not getting sidetracked, but there's so many sweet ones. Thank you so much. Like, this really does affirm so many things that we all have conversations about every single week. And it's good to see a coach, obviously, who knows this business, knows it well, and is running it consistently. Maybe not sprinting, but you're in it for the marathon.
Yeah.
And which is what I am too. I'm not here to, like you said, I'm not here to recruit 20 coaches a month. Like, that's not how you're going to burn yourself out. It's not going to happen every month, and you're just going to feel like a failure all the time. But this is more like that marathon thing.
Yeah.
There was something, and I didn't write it down. I think I just chatted. Okay. Someone said, should we stick to only asking girls to coach that are in our challenge group?
No. You mean like invite people who aren't in your challenge group?
Who are already in our challenge.
I invite people every single day who watch my stories or, like are engaging in my content. Or I like follow them and they just look like they would make a great coach. And a lot of times with coaching, here's the thing. For people who are outside your challenge groups, a lot of times that initial invite just plants a seed. They're like, no thanks, But if you keep posting, if you keep talking about it, and, the thing is somebody's going to invite them. Like, if they would make a great coach, somebody is going to invite them to coach. So it might as well be you, right? Because I had a girl this last week, somebody who's in my sneak peek this week. And she told me she's very hesitant. She's very on the fence about it, but she would honestly be great. And she said that she's followed Beachbody coaches for a year. And initially Ashley Molstead reached out to her, and she said it was very like form, like, hey, do you want to join my challenge group? Was the invite she got. She never did. And she's followed some other people who were more faith-based, but she was like, Rachel, they comment and they like all my stuff, but they've never like directly said, hey, do you want to be a coach? Okay. And so like you got to be bold. You got to be confident. And so whether she joins or not this month, I have a feeling she will join at some point. But she was like, you were different because one, you're really bold about your faith. And two, you've been very direct with me about asking me if I want to do this. And she's like, it just was different. So she's not in my challenge groups, never been in my challenge groups. She was somebody who's just been watching me. And I reached out and I said, hey, do you want more information about this coaching thing? She was like, actually, yes. So yeah, don't just stick to challenge groups.
Well, and I always do this, but I'm looking at all these faces on these screens and I'm thinking about how all of you guys came into this, and it's so different. Like I'm looking at Cassie and I'm like, Cassie, we talked for like a year before she finally was like, hey, I think I kind of want to look into this. And then I sent her the recording and she was like, yes, let's do this. And then Kelly, like I was, like I reached out to you and we just talked about fitness. And then you didn't reply to the invite because I went back to look. You didn't reply to the invite. And then a couple months later, I see you're doing Beachbody workouts. And I was like, what? Shoot. Then I almost told myself, just leave her alone, Lauren. Just leave her alone. Let her do her own thing. And then I was like, no, that's not what I did not sign up to just leave people alone and not be part of their lives and build relationships. So I reached out. And then we had this amazing call where she had me in tears because her life has been so changed just from the workouts. And I was like, let's do this. And then I'm looking over here at Amber, who tried to back out so hard 3 years ago because she was a little nervous about the whole thing, but I've seen her grow so much. And then there's Katie, who has been our group. She's been in our group for about a year now. And I saw her posting recipes in a group on Facebook. And I was like, you're good at this. Like you know how to like provide value to people and help people. You should look into this. And she did. And she's in, like, there's just so many different ways that you all came to this and you had your own hesitations and you did your own things. So when you see girls doing things that you feel like are making it hard on you, I guess I should say, they're not. They're just going about it in a way that makes sense to them, but you still need to be there to be that like next person to lead them through that. And the last thing I wanted to say that because Rachel was talking about hesitations on inviting to coaching and inviting to things. One thing that I'm starting to see a lot, like the girls, like I've been trying to like look and say, okay, her invites are working. Why are her invites not working? Okay. And when I started really looking at the girls that they are working and are not, and looking at their stories and looking at the way that they're talking, the girls that their invites are working, they're positioning themselves as a leader.
Yeah.
That is another thing that has been huge that I've seen, especially even in my business. I started reading, I was like, okay, Lauren, if you're going to lead a team, you should know what leadership looks like. And so I started reading John Maxwell. I started reading any book that told me about how to be a leader in a good way, John Gordon books, anyone that had good things to say about becoming a leader, positioning yourself as a leader. That's what I started reading. And so then my invites or my stories and just everything changed from, hey, do this with me, to let me lead you through this, because people don't want to just guess around with their fitness and health. They want to be led. They want structure. They want leadership. And so that's been one big difference that I've seen of girls whose invites are working versus not, is because it's a mindset. That's a mindset thing. It's not just changing a script. That's changing how you think. And so that's one way I wanted to encourage a lot of you girls. If you're like, okay, my next step needs to be confidence in this, you need to change the way you're like positioning yourself. You're not just doing this with me. You're going to lead other girls too. You're going to break away from me at some point. Like you have to. Yeah. That's the goal of this. I'm not going to lead you forever. You're going to become a leader for someone else. So position yourself leading a call like this, position yourself leading a challenge group. That's where you're wanting to go. Mm-hmm. Okay. Sorry, Rachel. I just totally
that's good.
Moved in there.
Yeah. And I think too, I think that make sure you're like for challenge groups, make sure you're doing the workouts, make sure you're using the portion containers, make sure you're drinking your Shakeology, because you're not going to have the confidence to invite and you're not gonna be able to position yourself in that way if you're not doing it yourself, right? It's so important. That's just integrity, you guys. Like, that's just integrity. Okay. All right. Well, I hope that helps. I'll send those slides to Lauren so you guys can have that. And hey, let's take a picture before we go.
Oh yeah.
Picture. All right. Everybody smile. No, I got it. Thank you. Okay, I got it. Milo said, can I take it? He's my little photographer.
I love it.
All right. All right, you guys have a good Saturday.
Thank you, Rachel.
Bye.